Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. What's up? My name is Noah, and if you're new here, what are you doing? Go ahead and subscribe down below and click the notification button. Okay, so today's video, I'm somehow really excited for this video. First of all, again, grab your drink. Yes, I got myself a new water bottle because I'm very bad at drinking water, and getting new water bottles actually helped me. So this water bottle is from Yukon Outfitters. I got it in Buc-ee's. For anybody who does not know what Buc-ee's is a gas station in Texas, and it's super big and has a lot of pumps. Has a big like the store inside is super huge. But yes, I got myself a new one, so make sure you get something cozy and be cozy, and let's start this video. So this video is going to be hacks about moving. I'm gonna do, I think, multiple parts on this video, also answering some of your questions. This is definitely not all the hacks that I have here on moving, but it's part of it. Okay. So I'm going to tell you guys kind of like a fact of like where I've been moving, why I know this many stuff, and so on. And some of them are very clear, some of them you might not know. Please feel free to comment some questions down below or DM me some questions for the next part, and I'll gladly answer them. So I have been moving in between 3 countries where I've lived in. So the first country is Switzerland. I have lived in Switzerland from when I was a baby. Sorry, I have acid reflux. Another amazing thing of being pregnant. I have been living in Switzerland since I was a baby to around 17.5 to 18 years old. And then I decided to join the IDF. If anybody who does not know what the IDF is, it's the Israeli Defense Forces / the Israeli Army. So I was in the army. I was in the army for 2 years, lived in Israel for 4, and for around 4, like 3.5, 4. And yeah, so then from there I went back to Switzerland for around 3 months. And then I live in Texas since January 2020. So yeah, so this is kind of my story. I moved to Texas, or I moved to the United States for different kind of reasons, but my husband, he is from the US, he is from Texas. He's a very true redneck. If you don't know what a redneck is, then I don't know. Rednecks are like, yeah, I don't know how to explain what a redneck is. Google it. But he's very patriotic, and I met him in Israel. We got engaged in Israel, and then we got married here. We had 2 separate weddings. I have like a whole video. If you go ahead and see like videos that are with my husband or stuff like that, like we did Q&As on it and how we met. So if you just like scroll up on my channel or like look for the videos, they are on my channel. And so yeah, and now we live here already. So he is from Houston, and I moved here in January 2020, right before COVID started, like 3 months. And now for people who do not know, we have, I don't know, you can kind of tell by the crib. You can also kind of tell it by my baby bump. I have some shorts on because that's just the most comfortable. But, yeah, so you can tell it by my baby bump. We're expecting a little baby boy. He is going to be born in, hopefully, his due date is at the end of September, so hopefully still in September. And yeah, we're super excited. And if you have questions about pregnancy and so on, I do make videos about pregnancy. If you have any ideas or whatever videos to do, then comment them down below. I just want to make like a fact that is clear. It is different moving abroad, so from country to country, than inside the country and just moving from a house to another house. That is one thing. And then two, it's just also where you move to. It can be different. So just, I can tell you guys kind of like my experience of moving, but it's going to be different for you. Even if you, let's just say you decide to move to America, it's going to be different for y'all moving to America than for me. It's important to drink water. I say this like in every video, but I didn't realize on how important it is until I got pregnant. Really, really important. Another really amazing thing, I don't know if you guys know, but you need to go through like a whole visa process, green card process, and I got my visas, so now I can finally study, I can work here in America, and I can travel outside of the United States. Super exciting. My whole family plus me are definitely excited. We waited for this for so long, but we are really excited. So let's, the first thing is have all your documents in order. Make sure that you also do research about this, because I had two ways of coming to America. One way was getting married outside of America, for example, and my husband Ben bringing his family, so aka me, his family to America, or him bringing his fiance to America. So you need to make sure like you figure out like what type of visas they are. Make sure the best thing is actually getting an immigration lawyer. So make sure you have that, especially make sure you have visas, your passports are in order, like all your documents are in order. So yeah. Then number 2 is know where you want to go. So it seems like that's something you need to know, is like you need to know where you want to move. But there's a lot of people that they just decide to go to, there's some people that decide to just go to the airport and they're like, I'm gonna go to this destination for a couple months, then do that destination for a couple months. But you still need to make sure you do some research about it before you go. And actually, another reason what I wrote down is visit the place that you want to go. Like to go and have a vacation there before you move there. So what I did is, for example, what is it, almost like 3 years now? Almost 3 years ago, I came and I visited Houston, I visited Ben's family, and I looked where I'm gonna live and so on. I mean, your living will still change, but like I made sure that I liked Texas, I liked Houston the way how it is, and that I didn't need to adjust. Then number 3 is to move just in general, you need to be flexible. Not everything is gonna work as planned, and I can tell you that, guys, from experience. Not everything is gonna go as planned, but be flexible as much as you can, and it will be a little bit better. Number 4 is start learning the language. So thank God I knew English before I came here. I know that's actually another video that I could do, is I know 5 languages. I am learning my 6th language right now, and that is Italian. But it's important to learn the language before you go there. For example, I had the privilege of growing up with like these 5 languages, or with some of the languages I had the privilege of growing up, and then I just bettered my skills in them. Of when I, for example, moved to Israel and needed to speak Hebrew, or I moved to the U.S. and now I speak better English than I did when I was in Switzerland. It's also like I know like different words, different expressions, and yeah. So it's really important. And another thing that the thing is, my mom, she is a relocation manager, and she works with a lot of expats. If you don't know what an expat is that. Let me just to make sure that I am not gonna expat meaning. And it's called an expat is an expatriate is an individual living or working in another country other than his or her country of citizenship, often temporarily for work reasons. So for example, like my mom, she has she works with a lot of expats, and one of the things that you need to do in Switzerland is you need to learn German. So like my mom, since she's a relocation manager, she helps with a lot of these things. But for me, it was easier of moving because my parents moved throughout the world a lot, and okay. And they move throughout the world, so they have tips, they have tricks on how to do it, and so on. So they gave me a lot of ideas and a lot of input on how to do stuff. Then number 5. Then number 5 is check if you want to do the shipping or if you want to just suitcase your stuff kind of like to the other country. So for example, I looked at shipping prices and it was very expensive. Thank God, after I had like 2 ways of doing it. I had some friends from the US. They were living in Switzerland at the time, and they were moving back to the US, and they offered of putting the couple boxes that I had, shipping them to the United States in their already moving container. Or what I actually did is I came with, I don't even know, I came with a couple of suitcases. That's also what I did in Israel. I came with a couple of suitcases and I just moved everything. Sometimes it's even better if at the beginning, even if you're in the end gonna stay by yourself in that country, asking somebody to just take a holiday and like come with you. Like that's what my mom and my dad did. They took some holiday and they moved to, and they came to Israel and they helped me move my stuff. Then number 6 is to have a budget, and it's just pretty much that you know how much food is, how much gas is if you already have a car, you know your general expenses, and from that on, so you know kind of on how much money you need. Then number 7 that I think is super important is to know the laws. Now, every country has pretty much just similar laws. So if it is like laws about like don't kill or don't rape, like I don't know, like there's so many different laws that are pretty similar, but there's some laws, for example, just here in the United States, there's some laws that are okay, like that are in Texas, that are not in another state, or that are in another state, but that are not all over the United States. So for example, like that's a huge part. So know your laws. If you come to America, know like the amendments, know your constitution. Like if you're moving here and if you're planning to do the whole citizenship part, definitely know the Constitution. And something that I thought was really, really important to me was learning the national anthem. When I moved here, and learning the Pledge of Allegiance, and learning the Pledge of Allegiance of America, and learning the Pledge of Allegiance of Texas. 2 different things. So yeah. Then number 8 is research public transport, and this is very, very, very important. For example, in Switzerland, you have great public transport. I mean, or as great as it can be. But like, it's the public transport in Switzerland is different than it's in Israel. And in FYI, in Israel, you can be 100% sure your bus is going to be late. So make sure you also have enough time to catch your bus and to be at wherever you need to be on time. And for example, in Houston, there is public transportation. There are buses. There is kind of a subway train line, but that's like inside of Houston. But again, you don't take that. So that's like a shuttle that is also just in between. For example, it's especially in the medical center where you go from like hospital to hospital. You just go from a parking structure to the hospital or to your work. It really just depends. But for example, buses, I see buses a lot all over Houston, but it's not something you want to go on, especially not as a tourist. You don't want to go there. You usually just drive everywhere where you go. And like, for example, my family's coming to visit me very soon, and they were like, oh, we're just going to take public transportation. And I was like, Mom, that's not, or like, Mom, Dad, or like whoever, like, that's not going to work. You cannot just take public transportation, and you just need to be aware of certain things. I mean, if you have questions specifically about Houston or Texas, you can comment them down below, and I can answer some questions in the comments, or do a video about it. Depends like how many questions I get asked from that specific subject. And I will also do my research so I don't say like if it's not even true. And yeah, so it's really important that you know that. Then the next one is find your embassy. For example, I know where my Israeli embassy is, and I know where my Swiss embassy is. So it's really, really important to know. For example, we don't have a Swiss embassy in Houston or in Texas. Ours is all the way in Atlanta, and they made it per like East Coast, like, and then you have like the middle of America, and then you have the West Coast. So, for example, like ours is all the way out in Atlanta. If I ever need to do something, I need to fly all the way out to Atlanta. Like if they need me in person, but of course sometimes you can just email. Then number 10 is take things you can't live without. And what I mean by that is not like, oh, I cannot live without my book, so I'm gonna take my book. Or I don't have clothes, I need, like, make sure you have enough clothes for minimum like a month, like even a packing hack. I did a packing video about me like just flying right before I was flying, and for example, I said that I always pack a change of clothes, underwear, bra, pants, and a shirt, always in my carry-on, because you never know if you have a layover, if your flight got canceled, if you lose your luggage. So make sure you have all of that. Again, make sure that all your documents of passport, visas, that they're on you and they're not forgotten in your suitcase. I mean, just a little bit of thinking you need to do. Then number 11 is let yourself get used to it. I was not used to Texas, to Houston, to America for a while. It took me a while for me to get used to the heat. It doesn't usually get too cold here, but I mean, for example, like you go to Switzerland, and sometimes in Switzerland it can be in the minus, or Fahrenheit, it can be in the 30s. So it like really depends. For example, like here in Houston or in Texas, I think, or part of America, anyway, like the heat can go from, I'm gonna first say Celsius and then I will say Fahrenheit. For Celsius, it can go from like 20 degrees or 30 degrees up to like 50. And that is in Fahrenheit. For anybody who doesn't know, that's from like around like the 70s, 80s to like over 100 degrees. So you just need to make sure, and that's why I'm always like saying like drink a lot of water, because it's not a joke. Like, I was not drinking enough one time and I almost got a heat stroke just from doing that. So yeah, just make sure like wherever you go, you know your things and get used to it. It's not just the heat, it's also the people there. And maybe at the beginning you're gonna get a culture shock. But that's why I'm saying get used to it. Then prepare for the unexpected. Really, really important. That's again goes kind of into the subject of make sure like your passport has like long enough, so it's not just for like 6 months, or your visa or whatever. Make sure you have like a long enough time to change everything, and in case something happens, have like a little like to-go bag, or a little thing that will just like help you like move on or whatever. And then my last thing that I wanted to say was just do research in general about the country that you're gonna move to. Yeah, it's just pretty much that. It's just do your research about it. Like that you're not gonna come. I mean, there's still some stuff that might be unexpected or you might be shocked about, but you're not gonna be like mind blown over it. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys want a part 2, go ahead and ask also some questions. I can also do a Q&A for my part 2. Or I'll just do a video again about more hacks that are different than what I wrote down. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching this video. I usually upload on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. This Friday, I don't know if I'm gonna upload, what I'm gonna upload. Same thing on Wednesday. Don't know usually what. So if you guys have any ideas, so please comment them down below or DM me. My social medias are gonna be at the end of this video. Thank you, Thank you. Oh my God, I cannot even talk anymore. Thank you guys so much for watching. Love you guys and have a great week. Bye, guys.